against Mephisto. Moreau Atoll. A small group of volcanic islands in the South Pacific, and the location of a secret Y.D.R.A research complex. The first time I came here was to destroy the formula for a genetic key to immortality that had been developed by Y.D.R.A scientists, among other things. The complex's military contingent was well armed and highly trained, though understandably unprepared for my assault. It took another freelancer to force my retreat. I anticipated their increased readiness for my return. More powerful armaments, more secure defenses. Looks like I flattered myself. The Immortality Gambit 2, the last temptation of Black Axe. Only trace of whatever, did this is a slight hint of sulfur in the air. This cyborg bested me, forced me to flee like a frightened child. I had been looking forward to a rematch. It spoke of having knowledge of me from a future time. I'd like to know more. You would have thought that designers capable of creating such a creature would have been able to install self-repairing systems. Well, if that's the best he can do, then his systems aren't back up to full power. I don't want a rematch with an invalid. Couldn't hack it, going one-on-one, so you decided to bomb the place to hell. And now you've worked up the guts to come back and inspect your handiwork. Well, could you just hold it down for a second? Seems you're not the only survivor of whatever happened here. Reckless, I'm not. They must have escaped the complex when I opened the gates on my last visit. Anything left inside wasn't so lucky. I may be ugly. They go sledge very nicely. What happened here?
Miss Tech's would-be assassin has returned. During his last visit to my little island charade, he intrigued me. Of this planet, yes, but of a more ancient lineage than its present inhabitants. I will know more of this Black Axe.
Yeah, I don't think you can get on my good side with that look behind you, crud. I've got 105 sides, but there ain't a good one among them. Right, I expected a rematch, but you want to bore me to death. I also expected the Y.D.R.A complex to still be here. What happened? The clearing up operation had only just gotten underway when things started getting weird.
Let me out of here, you sadist! This creature's getting far too friendly!
Guess you must have bred any good taste right out of him. Hey, maybe that wuss with the axe decided to come back and take annihilation like a man. But I guess it wasn't you. It felt like the island was being pulled right out from under us. The air stank of sulfur. What the hell's going on? I had to ask. They came out of nowhere, through the walls, up through the floor. I tried to get into the open, find some space to make a stand, but they were everywhere, ripping, tearing, hurting me like I've never felt before. By the time my legs gave out, I was already blind with pain. After that, nothing, till I came round and found you creeping about. The only living things I've found on the island are you and the remnants of the horde. Nothing like the creatures you describe. Nor have I any interest in finding them. I'm here to fulfill a contract and to conclude my business with you. I want what you know about my future. I'll be happy to beat it out of you if that's what you'd prefer. But I'd suggest we find a new location, somewhere we won't be disturbed. Be glad to. Right now, I'd turn around if I were you. If you expect me to fall for that old sulfur, coating tongue, clogging lungs, suffocating. Some people might be tempted to say, I told you so. But me, I'm just worried that someone else is gonna get a chance to take you down before I do. Heads up down there. Here comes the damnation cavalry. I have to admit, there are times when I wish I wasn't quite so irresistibly wild and impulsive. Head beginning to clear. Armor's electronics still jangling. Not just a hole in the ground, a dimensional portal. When I set up this pantomime, I knew those vainglorious idiots on the Mystech board would send an agent to either destroy or acquire the so-called immortality gene. Where am I? I plan to enjoy the spectacle of them chasing their tails after something that does not exist. Then you arrived, a worthy prize, an ancient soul that shall be mine. Rejoice. And who wants me here? Mephisto has plans for you. When I planted the idea of an immortal gene in the mind of that dim-witted sadist, Mendo, I sought only to amuse myself with the antics of the Mystech board. Their desperation to be free of my thrall makes them prey to any temptation. But Mystech has only ever been one of many channels of influence upon the human world. Their greed and lust make them ready tools for my intrigues. But there would be advantages to having a more permanent agent among them, a provocateur of pain, a soul hardened by a life dedicated to destruction. And it seems that I have found you. Mind being peeled, layers of identity being stripped away. Assassin, foot soldier, warlord, thief. Peel back every layer. Strip away the veneer of 1,000 civilizations. One thing remains, like the sword in the dragon's heart. The iron in the warrior's soul, refined through 1,000 lifetimes. Me. No lust, no ambition. Such a singularity of purpose is unique, but alas, is of no use to me. My darlings, he is yours. Axe to me. No point in waiting. Time to give the devil his due, and then some. I may not have the pleasure of your fealty, but I shall have the pleasure of your evisceration. You didn't think I was just gonna let you run out on me, did you? Just when my systems were reaching optimum levels again. I've been giving them a quick shakedown on these guys. But don't go away. I'll be right with you. Insane. Totally. But he'll keep. Right now, payback. What manner of creature are you that shrugs aside the power of the Master of Lies? Get back! I have toyed with the souls of gods, plucked the wings from angels, yet I cannot stop you. Have you no fear? Have you no soul? No! Be gone! Pacific Atoll sinks. Exclusive report by our on-the-scene reporter. Moreau Atoll yesterday, Moreau Atoll today. My guess is that it was a panic measure. By then, he couldn't be sure that anything would work. But I went from hellfire to Antarctic deep freeze before I could pull the trigger. A sudden temperature change popped one of my armor's thermocouples. The cyborg could have materialized anywhere. As for Mephisto, I wonder how long it has been since the Master of Lies tasted real fear. Well, that's all well and good, but are you sure the gene for immortality is a hoax? Just a joke. Mephisto was playing with your desire to be free of him. I'd imagine Y.D.R.A are pretty teed off right now, too. They lost a lot of men and machinery in this fiasco. How do we know you're not lying to cover up your own failure? The report by the Sisters of Grace was less than flattering about your abilities. Yes, the Sisters. I have every intention to go over their report with them in the near future. If I were you, Miss Witchwood, I would investigate Mephisto's claim that you are not his only minions at work on Earth. His assessment of your status was far from flattering. Oh, very well, Black Axe. We shall take your points on board. How would you like your payment? I have already been paid. Just this once, you may keep your money. What do you mean? Who paid you? You did, Miss Witchwood. Before taking your contract, I believed that I had met every challenge the world had to offer. This, I discovered, was the foolish complacency of an old man. This contract, my time in Japan, have reminded me that challenges must be sought, not waited upon. After too long away, Black Axe is back. Next, death and resurrection on the Nile.